in these projects right from the beginning, where before we even get the architects designing anything, I'm on the ground and I can see, some of the planning issues and bring those to the attention of the architects.
I would suspect your next challenge is that you've got 3 different architects or organizations who have their own identity that don't want to lose that, and that's certainly understandable, but there has to be a band leader, if you will,
right,
and help direct them to a cohesive, because honestly I look at and again I want to compliment you, as everyone has. We're really looking forward to getting that piece of property developed, but I look at this and I see 3 buildings. Could be any 3 buildings. There's no rhyme or reason. They're just kind of 3 soldiers in a row with some space between them. I mean, one comment was to undulate or to maybe drop that center building back a little bit to create a little bit more of a courtyard, central courtyard to start to bring. But, I mean, just things like whether it's the art or the water features. But the architecture as a whole, I think there can be some identity that each company wants to maintain, but also some synergy and some cohesiveness that can make this a development as opposed to 3 standalone buildings. So I think I would really, try to encourage. And again, where your challenge is, you're talking to 3 different architects and say, okay, somebody's got to lead that group and really help direct that group. And I don't know how you do that, but that's where you get the big bucks. Yeah.
And it's balancing making them look too matchy-matchy.
No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that they lose their identity, because corporate identity is very important, and I'm not suggesting that. But there are ways to make this a cohesive development and still keep that identity.
Right.
The other thing that was mentioned too was that there are 4 sides to these buildings, and I understand you have a dumpster issue, but there's got to be a better solution. I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I don't want to walk past a dumpster to go in and have dinner. So, I mean, there's got to be another way to conceal that. Maybe make it part of the building more than here's a standalone bump outside the building. I don't know. So, but I'm just some things that I saw. But again, I want to encourage you to continue to, as my fellow commissioners said, a lot of good comments. I saw you both writing diligently, so hopefully that will help. Mr. Schultz.
Can I ask Brent a question? Do we have any leeway within the Big Beaver Corridor District, within this area, on relief from the 9.5-foot wide parking space? The reason I ask is I was sitting here with a calculator. These 21 car spaces are those lines are 2/3 of the length of a football field. I mean, that's a long row of cars just right straight down without a tree in sight other than at both ends.
The answer to your question is no. The required parking space width is 9.5 feet.
Okay.
Mr. Stratt.
Yeah, Stratt. Right.
Is that what I said?
I think that the comment that was made as far as maybe expanding or developing the hotel a little bit closer has some validity. And I really think that I wanted to ask the question of the 2 restaurants. Are they going to have valet parking?
Generally, they do not have valet parking. I mean, if there's a need for it, it's something that can be considered. I mean, in this scenario, you wouldn't need it. But certainly if you start moving around and the parking is further away, then that's probably something they would consider. Actually, let me restate that, because the Carrabba's in St. Pete does have valet parking. So it really depends on the situation and what the parking, how convenient the parking is or not, and whether they'll bring in a valet service.
See, the thing that I'm looking at is the spine, and that spine is really got to be the link, and it could be the link that through and between the restaurant and the retail center as well, through creativity of lighting, benches, all that could be, and as well as the bioswales, those could become features instead of, and having that spine be really well landscaped and connected to the hotel, if the hotel is close enough to the entrance, wherever that entrance may be. That's why I was well, the comment was made, you really have 4 architects, you don't have 3. You've got the hotel to work with as well as how this thing is going to play. Where the entrance is going to be to the hotel or how that is going to lay out could affect the spine and how it links to the front development. But that whole thing could be a part of a sequence of experiences as one develops and goes across from the hotel into the retail center or the restaurants. So those are, it really is an important thing. So you have 4 that you should be working with, not just 3. But the leader is supposed to be very, very strong. How you do that, I don't know. But that's...
If I may, I was just curious how tall the hotel would be. Are you looking at a low-level hotel or a multi-story hotel? Or
5 stories.
5-story?
It's not very tall. Okay. We'll add parking under the hotel.
It's not anticipated that it would at this time, no.
Mr. Carlisle, you've been very patient.
I just have a question for the applicant. I assume Carrabba's and Bonefish are under the Blooming brand conglomerate. Right. It might be helpful for the Planning Commission if, when you resubmit, if there are other examples throughout the country where you've done these 2 types of restaurants as standalone restaurants on one development site. Do you know of any example that you can present to us, or can you go back to the Blooming brands to find some examples, and then be helpful to see how those relate to each other as an example for the Planning Commission and other locations?
Yeah, we definitely have other locations where we've built 2 restaurants. So.
But these two brands of restaurants.
Yeah, I believe we're doing that right now in Denver. I forget it because we have 4 different brands, so I'm trying to remember which.
Yeah, it would be helpful if you do have, if you could find these 2 examples, that would be great. If you can't find these 2 particular brands examples, then some other ones of other sites in the country to see how they might relate with each other to give them examples for the Planning Commission.
So where we have multiple brands on the same site, sure, we can do that.
I guess another thought, too, when you do come back in front of us, when you make this presentation, as opposed to giving us drawings of 3 separate buildings, I'd like to see a drawing of the entire, the block, if you will. What is this really going to look like? And again, we'll start to see the cohesiveness and the unification along with the identity. So, any other final thoughts, or Mr. Edmonds?
I really like the whole concept. I'm really pleased. In fact, I'm ready to make reservations just as soon as and I would prefer the valet parking.
I'll let the operator know.
Reservations for the hotel and the restaurant.
Yeah.
All of them. No, I think
Need a golf cart to go back
great.
and forth, right?
It's really great. I do like, I like Mr. Hudson's comments. I really like the variety. Let's get the public art in there, all the stormwater management, the bioswale, everything that's been said tonight, I fully support. But it's an exciting project, and I agree it would be great to get groundbreaking soon.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you for your comments.
All right. Item number 8, public comments for items that are on the current agenda. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to anything that we've talked about tonight? Seeing no one, we'll go to item 9, Planning Commission comments. Ms. Lancaster, would you like to start us off?
Just to say that all of you have great and safe holidays.
Thank you. Mr. Hudson, Mr. Krent, Mr. Kempen, Mr. Stratt.
Oh, geez, it was really great to see some development of residential. I'm encouraged with our economy. It really is great. Other than that, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It's just be safe and spend some quality time with your families because they grow up quick.
Mr. Edmonds?
No comments.
Sanzika?
Just one quick comment. I have to say how proud I was at the groundbreaking for the transit center. I thought Troy was an example of how we came around from such diversity and such different opinions, and I was so proud to be a resident of Troy and be on the Planning Commission at that time.
Thank you.
And again, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Carlisle?
No comment.
Eric?
No comment.
Well, I have just a couple things. Number one, I want to make a public apology to Mr. Schultz, who I forgot his name on 2 occasions, so I apologize.
And called me Strat once.
That's worse yet, isn't it? Secondly, you all received a copy of a letter and some amendments to the master plan for Rochester Hills. And I've talked to Mr. Savinant, and we can take no action, or if we have some comments or suggestions or thoughts, we can convey those. I don't know if anyone or everyone has had a chance to look at them. They are fairly minor, in my opinion, but certainly want to open that up. And if you haven't looked at them, we have some time, so nothing has to be done tonight. But please take a look at them so that next time we get together, if there are any comments, we can discuss them and send them back. All right. Other than that, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. Meeting's closed.